So how many cars do you own total?
Can't disclose that, dude.
Okay, 7.
I would say north of 7.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fleet. You have a daily for the daily for the daily for the
The
daily.
daily for the daily for the daily.
Do you own just white cars?
It's ending up to be, I have a lot of white cars. Not that I'm racist, but my wife is white. But no, it's just serendipitous. Like
Right.
the way I approach cars is I buy what I like.
And you've been on the track with the McLaren.
McLaren 650S Spider. So the McLaren was my first supercar.
Okay.
How that came about is kind of an interesting story. So in 2019, I was at an attorney conference in Fort Lauderdale. We partied our asses off.
You should be a realtor. That's what we do.
Yeah, it's a common thing,
Yeah.
right? So I'm in front of the hotel at like 3 a.m. by myself. We, just kind of slow descent,
Right.
right? Smoking a cigar, sitting on the curb, up pulls a McLaren. I'm like, holy shit, it's 3 a.m. with the McLaren. Out comes this tall, slender, European, African-American looking guy. Hey, yo, man, that's a nice car. Oh, thank you, man. So I go around and I said, do you mind if I sit inside? And he's like, no, I can't let you do that, bro. I said, well, let me take it down the street and cut it. No, I can't let you do that. I can't let you do that. And I'm like, why not? He said, it's a company car. I said, really, who do you work for? And he goes, McLaren. I said, really, this is a McLaren car? You work for McLaren? He's like, yeah. I said, well, what do you do for McLaren? I designed the car. Yeah. So I ask him his name. I look him up, where LinkedIn or whatever. And sure enough, he's the dude that designed the car. And I said, wow, bro, that's pretty cool. So I took a picture with him and I said, you know what, in about 2 years, I'm gonna buy myself a McLaren. And he's like, well, I hope you do, because it'll help, help the investors and all these. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna buy a McLaren. So that night, or shortly thereafter, I put a McLaren on my home screen.
Okay.
Put it on my home screen. And, at that time, I wasn't on social a lot. I had a Facebook account, but never really checked it. So like fast forward maybe a year and a half later, I get to my office and you know what? I haven't checked Facebook in a minute. So log into Facebook and the first post was my McLaren for sale, a white McLaren for sale, which was on my phone. I said, nah, man, come on now. So I pick up the phone, call the guy up, and a month later, the McLaren's delivered to my house.
Wow.
So it's kind of like manifested it into an existence.
Right.
But, correspondingly, during COVID, I was listening to a podcast and I forget who it was, but there was a guy being interviewed who was a supercar, exotic hypercar guy. He's like, I've driven every car you can imagine. I've owned every car you can imagine. To me, a car is great, everything. And I own a Bugatti. And he was like, do I need a Bugatti? No.
Mhm.
Do I enjoy driving a Bugatti? Of course, but I don't need to drive a Bugatti.
Yeah.
But yet I own a Bugatti. And so why do I own a Bugatti? Because it puts me in the community of people that own Bugattis.
Right.
And it helps my
Right.
business. So those two things combined, it was like, because as a business owner, as a law firm owner at that time, every excess money we plow back into the business.
Right.
So you're giving up a lot of comfort, you're giving up a lot to put it back into the business.
Right.
But understanding that a car could get me into car communities, which then could help my law firm, was like, okay, let's pull the trigger on
Right.
this. Yeah. So that's how I ended up with the 650S Spider, got the Ferrari, have an Aston V12, Vantage S, Audi R8 Gen 1 V10 that
Yeah.
Candace drives.
It's your wife drives.
Yeah, she drives that. An AMG GTC. Now that's not, it looks white, but it's kind of beige. So it's kind
Okay,
of one
all
off.
right.
It's a little one off.
Okay. So how many cars do you own total?
Man, can't disclose that, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm scared.
7.
No, I would say north of 7.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fleet. You have a daily for the daily for the daily for the
The
daily.
daily for the daily for the
the
daily.
daily.
Well, here's the other thing though. When you're at this level, I'm a value-driven guy, and I attribute that to some of my success. It's kind of like I don't buy new, so to speak, because the economics in my mind doesn't make sense where you depreciate right away.
Right.
And obviously, if you can afford things like that, go by all means buy new, which I can appreciate. But just having grown up with nothing, right? Like, immigrant refugees from Vietnam with, very poor, you're trying to squeeze value all the time out of your dollar.
Right.
And so, that in this car, let's say hypothetically, MSRP out the gate is whatever, 240, and then you drive it off the lot and now it's worth 200. like immediately you've lost,
40 grand.
40 grand. Yeah. And so it just doesn't resonate in my head to be able to logically
Yeah.
do that. Not that I couldn't, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And so when you pick up something maybe with 1,000 miles on it used, or 2,000 or 5,000 even, not a lot for these kind of cars.
But you're saving for 5,000 miles, you're saying $60,000 to $70,000.
Yeah, exactly,
sometimes.
precisely. And so
Yeah.
my deal is like, is the value right? Am I capturing good value for what I'm buying? And I'm good. And value also defined not just in dollars, but in utility. Like, am I getting the right usage out of a car? I mean, honestly, a vehicle gets you from point A to point B. It
Right.
could be, any brand, high end to your Honda Civic. It's going to get you here to there. So really the utility is what can you get extra value out of what you've purchased. And so I specifically bought this one because being present at the car meets matters.
Mhm.
My family matters. And so as a 2-seater, most of the car meets was my wife and I, and we have to find a babysitter. Well, now this is a 4-seater,
And it's cool.
yeah, I mean, I like it.
Well, we got some video of you pulling this in, and you owe me like $400 for the windows.
I appreciate it. And that's the thing. You have fun with these things, right?
Yeah.
So I bought the car so I can bring my daughter. We have 4 members in our family, to bring them to the car show in one
Yeah.
vehicle, and she's only 7. So so to expose her to these environments. But at the same time, each car that I have, I modify it in my own unique way, right? And so exhaust, of course, different
Right.
body kits if you wanted to. Tuning things. I mean, this one's tuned, exhaust was modified. So it's fun, but in the end, it to each his own. Like, would this be appealing to most people?
Yeah.
No, they buy a Ferrari, Pista or some other type of Ferrari
Right.
that, but
488,
yeah, 488, 458,
Yeah.
whatever, 296, whatever. But for me, this works. And so,
I mean, it looks aggressive.
I appreciate it.
Sounds aggressive.
Yeah.
Cheers, though, too.
Cheers.
Look,
Salute to you, man. You're Porsche for the same reasons, man.
I mean,
Cheers.
that's
Yeah.
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 I mean, and then we're both sitting here with 1925 Tequila, a company that we both invested in, and that's
Correct.
we've met because of, I think, the car
Exactly.
circles,
Precisely.
right? And then we were doing the walks with Matt and everybody, and invested in this company. Which, if you haven't tried 1925 Tequila,
Salute.
it is some of the best.
Cheers,
Yeah.
brother. Cheers.
Cheers.
To partnership in this.